Hello everyone, my name is Karen Mayfield Felton and I come to you today from Feet Planted LLC. I'm excited to talk to you about today's video, which is going to be about Black History Month. Today is the first Wednesday of February, which is also the month that we celebrate the accomplishments of many African Americans. The question that I have for you is, what inspires you about Black History Month? Is it just another month with less than 30 days? Is it an opportunity to have programs and commemorate a lot of people that you may or may not have heard of? What does it mean to you, and does it inspire you at all? I remember growing up and having to learn about Black history, the men and women who marched, who stood up for civil rights. I remember being in plays and having to learn quotes from Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech and countless others. One of the things that really struck me was how they were resilient. These men and women lived under some cruel and unsurmountable odds, and yet they thrived. I was taught that part of the reason that they were able to thrive was because of their faith and how they relied on the Lord and their belief system to get them through. How the church showed up in communities to host rallies and to pray for the men and women who marched and to feed those who were hungry, along with housing the men and women that supported the cause. How do I know this? Is because I have parents who were raised in that time. They grew up in the 50s and 60s. They experienced segregation, Jim Crow, prejudice, racism, hatred firsthand, and they shared that experience with us growing up to educate us and to train us on how we are supposed to behave, how we're supposed to love one another with the love of Christ, and to work hard to educate ourselves so that we too can be examples. They also shared with us how we were the future. They gave us hope. They talked about how, in addition to some of the atrocities that they witnessed, they also shared with us a sense of community, how the neighborhood came together to educate and take care of the children, and how they were protective of them, how pretty much everybody had ownership of everybody else's children, and they felt safe. They felt like they had a home. And that is the hope that they have for us. So that's how I'm inspired. But this isn't about me. I want to know what inspires you. What will your children talk about? What will they say about the things that you did to further your education, to further peace, to further justice, to show up and represent your culture, represent your pride in yourself, represent your faith, and talk about it, and be that bridge to connect relationships, to connect people who normally wouldn't get together. Those thoughts sound really cool to me. I am hoping that they sound like something that is possible for you. I'm going to encourage you to do a couple of things for Black History Month. I encourage you, if you have not, to read a book about an African American individual who made strides either in STEM or who celebrated life, who stood up for justice, and or read an autobiography. It could be an African American author, or it could be an author that speaks to the life of an African American. Read that. Read about someone who has similar interests to you, whether it could be education, whether it could be music, it could be STEM, it could be anything that you're interested in. And here's why. I think you're going to learn something. I believe that learning our history and learning about the men and women who came before us is very important. So if you do not have a book at your disposal, I am willing to lean forward and purchase one for you. All you have to do is post in the comments what inspires you about Black History Month. After you make that post, I'm going to ask you to send me an email with your home address or an address where I can send a book. And that is that. The first 3 folks that do that will receive a book from me. That email address that you can send your information to is going to flash across the screen, but I'm going to say it anyway. It is karen.felton@feetplanted.com. My name is spelled KARRIN.FELTON@feetplanted.com. And I'm going to need you to send that information and the post by Friday. The next and final thing that I want to encourage you all to do is to dream. And I mean dream big. There's going to be a time where you're going to look back and you're going to wonder if you accomplished everything that you possibly could. I know we live in challenging times, but dreaming clears the table. Dreaming sets the stage for us to think about what is possible even under the most crazy of circumstances. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to take the time and dream. What is it that you want to do in the next 5, 10 years? Where do you see yourself? What are you doing? What discovery have you made? What have you accomplished? Who have you helped? After you take the time to dream, and I do mean take the time to dream, I want you to write down what you see. I want you to take that information and put it somewhere that you can have access to. And whenever you feel discouraged or stuck, I want you to pull that list out. Oftentimes, we don't accomplish 1/10 of what we're capable of simply because we dare to dream. So those are the words of encouragement and the actions that I leave with you. I hope that you're able to be inspired by Black History Month. And more importantly, hopefully you'll lean forward and read a book and dream and be able to make a mark for future generations to come. Until we talk again, folks, I want you to have a great day. Thank you for watching my video. I bring fresh content to you every week on Wednesday. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get notified when I update my content every Wednesday.